Welcome back, guys, to my channel, your favorite programmer, and today we're gonna solve another LeetCode problem in Java. Also, you can apply this concept to any other language, but I'm just solving in Java. So today's problem is can place flowers. We have a long flower bed in which some of the plots are planted and some are not. However, flowers cannot be planted in adjacent plots. So we cannot plant next to each other, okay? Given an integer array containing zeros and ones, where 0 means empty and 1 means not empty, and integer n return true if and flowers can be planted. So basically what it's saying is gonna be given an array. So 1 is already planted, 0 is not planted. So they'll be given number of flowers. So we need to figure it out whether we can plant this number of flowers into this array. Okay, the condition is we cannot plant adjacent to each other, so we cannot plant right next to each other. We can skip like one place here. So let's say in this case one can be placed here, and then we put another empty and then here, so it's true. But in this case, you can, as you can see, we have 3 here. We can plant 1 here, but we have 2 flowers. Since we have 2 flowers, we cannot plant both of them right adjacently, so we need to return false. Okay, yeah, that's all for the question, and then we're gonna do it. How we're gonna do it, let me code and then let me explain along the way. So we're gonna put a counter first, counter to check how many we plant already. This will keep track of the flowers you counted. And int length, we're gonna need this later on, flower bed dot length, right? We're gonna use a for loop for int I equals 0, I is less than length, I plus plus. Is my length correct? And that's correct, yeah. So how we gonna do? Let's write this. We're gonna do if, we're gonna check the condition. If flower bed at I is equal to 0 and flower bed at I minus 1 is equal to 0, and decrease this a little bit since we already understand the question, and flower bed at I plus 1 is equal to 0. So we're checking all 3 of them. As you can see, the current one is 0, the previous one is 0 if this condition is met, and the next one, so 3 0, if there's a 3 0 next to each other, then what we're gonna do, we're gonna plant the tree, right? Flower bed of I equals 1, so we plant the tree, and then we increase the counter, so counter becomes 1, and we know what else we're gonna do. We're gonna increase I. The reason we increase I is because we already know I plus 1 is also 0, so we can skip that. Do you understand what I mean? So let's go, and then we're gonna check if we, so that we can finish the loop early if we have plant already. So we're gonna check counter if counter is greater than or equal to n. Okay, can return true, otherwise return false, right? We're not done yet, but I have something to show you. So we're gonna run into error. Okay, let's first run this. If we just run with this, the test result will be fine. It works for both case. And let's see if we try to submit this. Okay, there's a logical error here. See, it says index out of bounds length 5. So what's happening here is, see if it's if it at index 0, let's say if I is at index 0 and we try to access I minus 1, then we're gonna have index out of bounds error, right? Or if I is at length -1, and if we try to access I plus 1, which is at length, then we will also have index out of bounds error. So how do we avoid this? How do we deal with this, right? So for that, I have a special case. So what we can do is we can make this or, okay? So we can do like this, okay? If I equals 0, right? Something like this. Have a look. So this whole thing is one condition here, okay? Let me put this in brackets so that you guys can see it clearly. So if I is 0, or I is I minus 1. So it cannot be we will not encounter index out of bounds, because if it is 0, then it will go with this one, right? And then for this one, for this case, let me go down here. We're gonna check if I is if I equals length, we already have length -1, right? Put the or, and we close it here with bracket, right? So there are three conditions. This one is the third and the last one. So this one checks for the last element. So if we are at length -1 position, we don't have to use this then. We don't have to use I plus 1. Then we will not run into index out of bounds error, okay? So it's basically the same thing. If the first element is 0 and the current element, okay, let's first element is 0 and then element plus 1 is 0. If they're right next to each other, then we can place at the first one, right? Doesn't matter what the third one is, we don't care, but we can put on the first one. Or if it's like in the last one case, if the at I position is 0, which is here is 0, and then if not the first, then it's then if this one is 0, then we can also place it anyway, right? Yeah. So basically, and we just increase, we plant the flower I plus 1. So basically there are three. So this one here, and that's in this case is like, okay, flower -1, which is 0, which is this place, and then at I position also this place is 0, and then I plus 1 position, which is another one. So there's 3 zeros, so we can use it and plant it at the I position, okay? So it will work on both cases. If it is, even if it is the first element, even if it is like on the any element, we have covered the errors. Okay, let's try to run this. Length -1, correct. Let's run this code. Here it comes. Length -1. What does it say? If I equals, oh, sorry. If I equals, yeah. Okay, 1 millisecond. We have a quite good algorithm here. We're like not bad. Okay, so this is the solution. And thank you for watching, guys. If you have any question, leave them in the comments below and let me know which problem you want me to solve next. Have a good day, your favorite programmer. See you next time.